Hello and welcome to this life-changing presentation. I urge you to avoid all distractions and pay close attention because this could literally change your life. My name is Sheyi Obasi, and today I want to show you step by step how you can come to Canada as a permanent resident skilled worker with your family. Today, I'm going to show you how to come to Canada as a skilled worker using the Express Entry. The Express Entry was started in January 2015, and it is a pathway to permanent residence for skilled workers. It is the most direct route that you can become a permanent resident skilled worker in Canada. There are 3 federal economic immigration programs in the Express Entry. There's the Federal Skilled Worker Program, the Federal Skilled Trades Program, and the Canadian Experience Class. We also have Express Entry streams for certain provincial nominee programs. The Federal Skilled Worker Program is for skilled workers with foreign work experience, and they must meet certain criteria for education as well as other factors. The Canadian Experience Class is for skilled workers who have Canadian work experience, and this is usually great for those who either have come to Canada as students or as temporary workers. They must have work experience in the last 3 years before they apply. The Federal Skilled Trades Program is for skilled workers who are qualified in a skilled trade, but these ones must have a valid job offer or a certificate of qualification. How does the Express Entry work? The Express Entry is a 2-step process. Now, step 1 is that you submit an Express Entry profile, which means that you go to the Canada government website, you create an Express Entry profile, submit a language test result, and an education credential assessment report for those who did not school in Canada, as well as your international passport, and you provide certain personal information that you will be asked. This process is completely free. You do not pay for it. Your profile that you create expires after 1 year. After you have created your profile, you are put in a pool, which is called an Express Entry pool, where you are put together with other people like yourself who are also looking to come to Canada using the Express Entry. Now, while you are placed in that pool, you get a score using the comprehensive ranking system. This system considers certain factors like work experience, language ability, education, your age, and other factors, including having family in Canada or having a valid job offer in Canada. These are all used to give you a score while you are placed in that Express Entry pool with other candidates that are like you. Now, this comprehensive ranking system that is used to calculate your scores it's going to give you what is called the CRS scores, and it ranks you among other candidates in the pool, and you can only get a total of 1,200 points. There are 4 factors that are used to give you your comprehensive ranking score. There's the human capital factor, which is based on your age, your skilled work experience, your education, and your language, either in French or English. There are the points that are gained by your spouse or your common law partner. There's also skills transferability points, which is a combination of your language, your education, and your work experience. You also get additional points for having a sibling in Canada, proficiency in another language apart from English if you have a proficiency in French, as well as if you have provincial nomination. The step 2 of the process is that you get an invitation to apply for permanent residence. Now, while you are in the pool, there are draws that are being held every 2 weeks based on the comprehensive ranking scores. And those who meet the cutoff point are sent an invitation to apply. Think of it like doing JAMB exams in Nigeria. There's a maximum point of 400 points. And if you wanted to study medicine and the cutoff point was 300, if you get 300 and above, you will get an invitation to come to the school and apply for medicine. If you do not reach 300 above, then you will not get that invitation. It is exactly the same thing. When you get that invitation to apply, this is when you can now submit an application for permanent residence, and you have to do so within 60 days or so of getting that invitation, and your application is processed in 6 months. This process is actually paid. For you to apply for permanent residence, you actually have to pay, unlike creating your Express Entry profile that was completely free. What is the process to apply and what are the requirements? Number one thing is that you have to confirm that you are actually eligible to apply. How do you do this? You answer some eligibility questions using the Express Entry eligibility tool that is on the canada.ca website, or you go ahead and read the detailed requirements for each of the program. You must qualify for either the Federal Skilled Workers Program, the Canadian Experience Class, or the Federal Trades Program. You must actually qualify for one of those before you can be in the pool. Now, for you to ensure that you meet the minimum requirements for the Federal Skilled Program, which is what most of us that are watching this will actually be vying for, is that you must have at least 1 year of skilled work experience in the last 10 years, and it must be continuous full-time work experience in any skilled occupation. You must be able to demonstrate that you have met the minimum requirements for the English language or the French language test. For the English language, you must have at least a minimum of 6 in all the test components for English. You must also have completed post-secondary education that is assessed against Canadian standards with an education credential assessment. You need all of this three, and you must have confirmed all of these three before you can create an Express Entry profile and submit an Express Entry profile. How much does it cost? Please note that the cost that I've put here may vary or change over time. There are two categories of cost. There's cost before you get your invitation to apply for permanent residence, and there's the cost after you get your invitation to apply. So the language test, which is you having to do your IELTS English or French test, will be an average of $300 to maybe 250 Canadian dollars. The education credential assessment will be an average of 200 Canadian dollars. These are the two things that you need to pay for before you can create an Express Entry profile. By the time you get an invitation to apply, this is when you now pay for biometrics, you pay the government fees for application, you pay for medical examination, and also police clearance certificates for your country of residence and any other country that you've lived in for at least 6 months. Now, despite this cost, you also need to show proof of funds for yourself and every of your family member that is coming along with you. These costs are processing costs, but then the proof of funds is according to the number of family members that you have. This table shows the minimum amount that you need to immigrate to Canada as of June 9, 2002. Note that this table might change as the years go by because it's usually changed based on the cost of living. Now, if you have one family member, if you are immigrating just by yourself, you need to show a total of 13,310 Canadian dollars as proof of living expenses for yourself. If you have a spouse or a common law partner, as well as the child, and there are 3 of you, then you have to show 20,371 Canadian dollars. You need to ensure that when you're creating your Express Entry profile, you show enough funds to cover this for you and every eligible family member that is coming along with you, whether they are coming or not. So long as they are your eligible family member, whether they are accompanying or not, you have to have enough money to cover yourself as well as them. Is there an age limit for Express Entry? No, there's no age limit. You have to be an adult, and then you can be any number up to 100 years old. You can apply for Express Entry. But you need to know that age is one of the factors that determines your comprehensive ranking score. Remember, we talked about your comprehensive ranking score. The older you are, the less you score on the age factor. But of course, the more you can score on work experience. There's one thing you need to know about age and about being in the Express Entry pool is that provinces sometimes pick people from the pool irrespective of age. I have seen several instances where people have been in the pool for a while, they're probably giving up hope, and then a province picks them because they are looking for people that have their kind of skills. However, you have to be in the pool in order to be picked. A provincial nomination is an automatic 600 points, which will almost always guarantee that you will receive an invitation to apply for permanent residence in Canada. And despite your age factor, there are several other things you can do to increase your chances in the pool, even if you are advanced of age. You do not need a job offer for Express Entry. The vast majority of candidates selected for Express Entry do not have a formal Canadian job offer. However, if you do have a valid Canadian job offer, this can add up to 200 points to your comprehensive ranking scores. You only need a job to apply for a work permit in Canada. and a work permit is different from express entry. What if I'm a tradesperson? The Federal Skilled Trades Program is suitable for those who are tradespeople. They don't have as many draws as the Federal Skilled Worker Program, but then the skilled work experience that is needed is in these ones that are listed right here. Industrial, electrical, and construction trades, maintenance and equipment operation trades, supervisors and technical jobs, chefs and cooks, butchers and bakers. As long as you have skilled work experience in all of these, you also qualify for the Federal Trades Program. You must have at least 2 years of full-time work experience in the last 5 years. And then for this one, you must have a valid job offer of full-time employment for at least 1 year in Canada. If you don't have all of this, then you need to have a certificate of qualification in that skilled trade, but it must be issued by a Canadian provincial, territorial, or federal authority. What if I'm self-employed? The express entry also covers you, even though you're self-employed or you're a business person. In this case, you must have at least 1 year of self-employment, and you must be able to prove that you have that self-employment. Some of the ways that you can prove it is articles of incorporation or other evidence of business ownership, evidence of self-employment income, and reference letters. These reference letters must come for those who have done business with you and can prove that you have been an entrepreneur or a business person. Does my spouse need to take the IELTS exam? Absolutely not. If your spouse, however, takes the exam and scores a minimum of CLB4 in each area of the test, you can claim an additional 5 points towards your own CRS scores as the principal applicant. Your spouse's language results may also help to increase your own comprehensive ranking score and improve your chances in the express entry pool, but it is not mandatory that your spouse takes the IELTS exam. How to know if my work experience qualifies? For now, as long as you have any skilled work experience in the National Occupation Classification, you can apply for express entry. This will likely change early 2023, unfortunately. Now, you can find your NOC code by searching the NOC matrix for your job title or industry. It is important to make sure that the majority of the main duties listed on the NOC you choose matches your own job description. And you need to be very careful with this because a lot of people have had their applications refused for choosing the wrong NOC. We show you a full guide on how to find your NOC code inside our program. Now, there are 3 levels of skilled work experience for those who are applying for express entry. The National Occupation Classification Code identifies, for immigration purposes, 3 jobs: the skill type 0, which are management jobs such as restaurant managers, mine managers, shore captains, and these are just examples, or the skill type A, which are professional jobs that usually call for a degree from a university, such as doctors, dentists, or architects, or it is skill level B, which are technical jobs and skill trades that usually call for college diploma or training, such as chefs, plumbers, electricians. Skill level B also includes things like administrative assistants or assistants in other levels. Now, I cannot exhaust all the kind of jobs that are involved in the skill type 0, A or B, but you need to have a job or work experience in one of these skill types in order to qualify for express entry using the federal skilled worker programs. Now, there are skill level C, skill level D. These ones do not qualify for the federal skilled worker program, but they may qualify for other immigration programs that are not under the express entry. How you know that your job qualifies is for checking from the National Occupation Classification System to see if your own job that you've had in the last 1 year qualifies under the express entry. Which is easier or best or faster? Is it study or express entry? There's no one that is best or easier per se, because each of them have different criteria. However, you can still create an express entry profile even if you are trying to come to Canada using the study route. You are not penalized for that. You can still qualify under the Federal Skilled Worker Program, even though you are a student if you have foreign experience before coming to Canada. Now, having explained the express entry, what is involved, how you can determine if you qualify, and how you can apply, the question is, can you do all of this on your own? The answer is yes. The internet is full of all sorts of fancy video guides on immigrating to Canada, and you can use any of them. But sadly, many of these guides, including advice that you get from friends and well-wishers, are filled with half-baked information that could mean the difference between getting your application accepted or refused. A lot of people have made mistakes that have cost them their chance of immigrating to Canada. I will briefly tell you the stories of Michael and Talani. Michael has 4 years of work experience in a tech company. He is married with 2 children. He has a BSc in computer science as well as an MBA, and he's 37 years old. A few years ago, he created an express entry profile. It was easy for him because he's actually a brilliant chap and he did some research. But a few months later, his profile became ineligible. He tried all he could to figure it out, but he could not. And while he was desperately trying to figure it out, there was an express entry draw that he could have qualified for. And then he missed out on his once-in-a-lifetime chance because he was ignorant. If only he had a solid guide that taught him what to look out for if your profile is deemed ineligible. What about Tolani? Tolani was a political science graduate married with 1 child. She runs a trading business and she's 40 years old. She heard about the express entry in 2018. She quickly did her IELTS and created a profile. Luckily, she got an invitation to apply for Canada permanent residence. However, Tolani was confused about how to prove that she was self-employed. Well-meaning friends gave her some advice, which was actually bad advice that she used, and her application was refused. If only she had a solid guide that could have showed her the best way to prove self-employment. Time will not allow me to tell you about Bola, about Musa, about Stephanie, about Tunde, about Nkechi, and about Kola. All had good intentions, but they ended up with regrets from avoidable errors. So how can you avoid these errors? How do you submit an application that cannot be refused? And how do you increase your chances of getting an invitation to apply? What do you do if you cannot get a reference letter? What do you do if you don't have all the required documents? What do you do if you don't have sufficient funds? What about if you have all this police certificate disaster? These are some of the mistakes that people that I know have made and have had their applications refused. I would suggest that you get help from someone who has done it before and has done it successfully. I have created a comprehensive training called the Canada Express Entry Masterclass. This comprehensive and detailed training will assist you in preparing and submitting a Canada Express Entry profile and an application that cannot be refused. The truth is that you might ignore this, but if you ignore these strategies here, you might actually come to hate yourself later when you find out that you probably made little mistakes that got your application refused. The Canada Express Entry Masterclass is lifetime access to a complete step-by-step video tutorial that shows you how you can do this process yourself. It's a one-of-a-kind masterclass of video tutorials, checklists, templates, and sample documents, all designed to make your Express Entry process as effortless as possible, while giving you the tools you need to ensure that your application gets approved the first time, because sometimes there are rarely second chances. In this masterclass, you will learn how to increase your chances of getting an invitation to apply, how to properly complete your profile and your application for permanent residence, how you can select the proper NOC code. You actually need a lot of help with this. How to increase your comprehensive ranking score as well as your IELTS scores. What to do if you cannot get a reference letter. How to avoid the police certificate disaster. What to do if you don't have sufficient funds, how to prepare your letters of explanation to maximize your chances of success, and so much more that I cannot just list here. You should take this masterclass if you want to come to Canada as a skilled worker with your family and you want to submit your own application and not have to spend thousands of dollars paying a representative to do the same thing that you're going to be shown in the masterclass. You should take this masterclass if you need guidance on how to prepare your application from someone who knows what they are talking about and who has been through the process, and you want to submit an application that cannot be refused. Let me show you a peek inside the masterclass. There are actually 18 modules as well as 3 extra sections. These modules show you the basics about Express Entry, how to complete your Express Entry profile, how to upload your documents, general information for Express Entry, And then it starts talking about specific things like a work experience, a language test, how eligible are you, police clearance certificates, job offers, proof of funds, dependent family, who is a dependent family and who is not a dependent family. How is it that your dependent family can affect your application? Education, medicals, provincial nomination, spousal relationships, and so much more. This is what you get inside the Express Entry Masterclass. We also give you two amazing bonuses. The first one is the Temporary Skilled Worker Program. Now, the Temporary Foreign Skilled Worker Program is a program that the Canadian government uses that allows employers in Canada to hire foreign nationals temporarily for jobs. Now, this bonus is going to tell you about this Temporary Foreign Skilled Worker Program and how to get a job in Canada under the Temporary Skilled Worker Program. I know this is an avenue that a lot of people have used to scam a lot of other people because they don't have knowledge of this Temporary Foreign Worker Program. Now, a little bit about the Temporary Foreign Worker Program. The Canadian government or Canadian employers are ramping up their search for temporary foreign workers because of labor crunch in Canada. And this is an article that was published recently. The temporary foreign worker approvals by occupation involves general farm workers, which is actually the highest number of occupation that is employed using the temporary foreign worker program. There are a lot of employers in Canada who are looking for general farm workers from people outside of Canada, and they're employing people from outside of Canada temporarily because those in Canada, including permanent residents and citizens of Canada, do not want to do these jobs. So a lot of time they have to employ people from outside of Canada. Also cooks, greenhouse workers, food service supervisors, fish plant workers, all of this you see listed here, transport truck drivers, are some of the kind of temporary foreign worker programs that are employed from outside of Canada. And I know that a lot of people have also used this as a means to permanent residence. So we have a bonus that shows you what the program is, where you can look for these jobs, how you can apply to these jobs. And we also send you amazing job offers when job offers are open. So this bonus alone is great, and you shouldn't miss this masterclass if you want to get this bonus. Now we have another bonus called the ABC of the Canada Provincial Nominee Programs. Now the PMPs allows Canadian provinces and territories to nominate individuals who wish to immigrate to Canada and who are interested in settling in a particular province. This is another way that you can also get Canada permanent residence. This bonus shows you details of the PNP programs for the 10 provinces in Canada and how they work, especially the PNP programs that do not require you to have a job offer in order to apply. We show you the easiest provinces to get a provincial nomination and how to go about getting a provincial nomination that can help you to apply for permanent residence. These two amazing bonuses, you get them when you get the Canada Express Entry Masterclass. So how much is the Canada Express Entry Masterclass? Don't forget you're getting the Canada Express Entry Masterclass and you're getting two bonuses, the Temporary Skilled Worker Program that shows you what that program is and how you can partake of it to get a job in Canada and come as a temporary skilled worker and use that as a route to permanent residence, and the ABCs of the Canada Provincial Nominee Program. A reminder of what you're getting, that you and your family can come to Canada at last as permanent residents. You're going to get great knowledge about the Temporary Foreign Worker Program as well as PNP. These are other routes to permanent residence in Canada. Of course, when you come to Canada, you get all the benefits of a permanent resident and a chance to avoid mistakes in your Express Entry application as well as in creating your Express Entry profile. And you get a step-by-step guide that you or anyone else can follow. Very easy video tutorials and step-by-step guide. You get all of this for only $60,000. You're getting 3 amazing programs for only $60,000. You're getting the Canada Express Entry Masterclass, the Temporary Skilled Worker Program, as well as the ABCs of the Canada Provincial Nominee Program. Remember, the Express Entry just restarted on July 6th, 2002, after being paused due to COVID. There are rumors of changes to the modalities of the program. The rumors have been confirmed because they will start having occupation-specific draws in 2023, which means that Canada starts to select people based on their occupations. However, right now, you can be selected no matter the occupation you have, as long as it's a skilled occupation and you have experience in 1 year of full-time work experience in the last 10 years. You and your family can become Canada permanent residents before any major changes could affect you. I urge you to make haste while the sun is still shining if you want you and your family to become Canada permanent residents. Do you want to take that leap of faith to achieve your Canada dreams? Did I hear you say yes? That's amazing. I urge you to click the button below the video or any of the buttons in the sales page below and complete the payment, and you get your lifetime access to the masterclass today. There are lots of people who have testimonies of how the Express Entry has enabled them and their families to come to Canada. Some people have even come with their children, stepchildren, grandchildren, and you don't want to miss this opportunity because nobody knows how long the immigration for Canada will last and when it will stop. So I urge you to click the link or the button below this video and grab your own now before the price increases or before it becomes much, much harder than it is now. Thank you for staying to the end. This is a presentation and a video that can actually change your life, and I hope to see you inside the masterclass. Take care now. Bye.